When you build a totally crazy, straight out of left field, front engine, Ferrari powered Toyota, how do you follow it up? How do you piss off even more people? Well, you take a car from the most sacred American form of racing and you stick the most sacred Japanese engine in it. 2JZ. Why? How? Well, we're about to find out. We're going tube frame to boom tube, bumper to bumper on this 2JZ powered NASCAR. Thanks to Keeps for sponsoring this episode of Bumper to Bumper. Did you know that 2 out of 3 men will experience male pattern baldness in some form by the time they're 35? That means between me, Jesse, and Felipe, I'm gonna be the only one with a full head of hair. The good news is, with today's advancements in science, Keeps offers proven treatments that combat the symptoms of hair loss. You don't even have to go to a doctor's office. Just visit an online doctor who will prescribe you your hair loss medication. It's delivered right to your door, and the sooner you start, the more hair you'll save. Prevention is key. Find out why Keeps has more 5-star reviews than any of its competitors. And if you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to keeps.com/B2B to receive 50% off your first order. That's KEEPS.com/B2B. If you're going bald, buy it. A few years ago, our buddy Ryan Turk built a car with a weird motor swap. Maybe you've heard of it. We've made a couple videos about it. It's called the GT4586, and it's a Toyota 86 with a Ferrari 458 engine. People either love it because they're cool or they hate it because they're not cool. Well, sometime last year, friends of Donut, Chris Forsberg, Dylan Hughes, and Ryan Turk, who've been featured in a ton of videos on this channel, got the opportunity to snap up an old stock car. In particular, this outdated 2010 Toyota NASCAR Cup car that nobody needed anymore. Now, when the boys first picked it up, it had a NASCAR Truck Series V8 inside of it. After they changed the oil, the guys took it straight to the drag strip. Forsberg took the first pass and put down a respectable 7.46 seconds in the 8th mile at 94 miles per. When it was Turk's turn to drive, he noticed there was no oil pressure. A look at the in-car footage from the first run showed that there hadn't been any the entire time. So he got behind the wheel just to see what would happen. What happened was, he Turked it.
She's dead.
Yeah.
Thank you, boys. Here's the motor that came in the car, and this is the oil pan. I think I found the problem. That's part of a connecting rod. Should probably run a magnet over this before we use it again. In his defense though, the engine was probably tired and ready to explode anyway, just like me on a Friday. So the guys, they were standing around in front of the car, looking at the dead motor when someone said, we should just like 2J this thing. Everyone laughed, and then they stopped laughing, and they looked at each other seriously with deep desire in their eyes. And that was that. I know why you're watching this video. You want to see the heart of this beast. But before we check out the transplant, let's take a look at the patient. Clear! It's big, it's red, it's black. It's a Camry? Well, it's a Camry in as much as any NASCAR Cup car looks like its namesake, which is also to say, it doesn't really look like a Camry at all. What it does look is sick. This car is from 2010, and that was a very exciting time in NASCAR. The front end is super aggressive, and check this out. It's mostly made out of metal. The series rules in NASCAR are super strict, so the cars aren't allowed to look very different from each other, and they can't look like street cars either. Literally, they take a jig and they put it on top of the car. Now, the steel tube frame chassis is covered by hand-molded sheet metal, which is covered by sponsor stickers and Camry headlights and taillight stickers. Like, why do they even bother? You know? And every window is made out of Lexan because, you know, race car! Now, these big boy NASCAR V8s run hot, just like me. It's summer in Los Angeles and it's 150 degrees in this building. I need to get some cooling vents installed. Speaking of cooling vents, there are some serious ones, several of them, in the front bumper of this car because race car! You can never have too many functional vents. That is something I always say. Ask any of my friends, they'll back me up.
Yes, James says that all the time, to the point where it's almost exhausting, and I wish he would stop.
Beyond the vents, the body is super streamlined and aerodynamic. Doesn't even have freaking doors. What do you need doors for when you're racing, all right? However, doors are very convenient for working on the inside of your project car. Let me show you why. GoPro tastes like laundry. Okay, so I'm in. When they were working on the car, the lack of doors was a huge pain in the ass. Every time Chris or Dylan climbed in and realized, ugh, I need another tool, they had to climb out, get it, and then climb back in. That gets old real quick. Not that having doors would have helped because this thing has crazy tall door bars anyway. It was worth it though, because it's very nice in here. NASCAR drivers sit very close to the steering wheel, so a lot of work needed to be done to the transmission tunnel, seat mounts, and dash to make it more drifter friendly. First, they had to cut out the petty bar, which is a big old bar that comes right through the middle of the interior to the right front corner. Then the guys put in a new pair of Takata race seats with Schroth harnesses, making it one of the rare NASCARs with 2 seats. The steering wheel was repositioned and the shifter had to be moved back to be reachable from the new driving position. That shifter is attached to the original 4-speed H-pattern dog box transmission for fast AF gear changes. A Link ECU was installed to run the new engine, and a Link digital dashboard displays all the necessary information. It's pretty much all race car things for race car business in here. You guys know what's under here. The moment you've all been waiting for. Here it is. Toyota GT86 powering this 100% American-built Michael Waltrip Racing NASCAR Xfinity Cup Car. Why? Because why not? The 2J is reliable, it sounds freaking awesome, and makes about the same amount of power as the previous NASCAR engine that came in it. It's also gonna turn more than a few heads and make some of them purists mad. And you know what we love to do? We love to make those purists mad. What started off as an off-the-cuff joke at the racetrack quickly turned into a full-scale, custom fab, crazy engine swap. Once it was out, you'd think that virtually anything could fit where the big V8 used to be, this huge tube frame race car. And when the guys dropped the 2J in for a test fit, everything looked pretty good. But the frame rails running through the engine bay were a problem. You see, the guys wanted to use this beautiful $4,000 Hypertune intake manifold, and she just wouldn't fit. In fact, almost everything around the engine had to be touched by Dylan's beautiful welding and custom fabrication skills. He made all the mounts for the engine: radiator, oil cooler, intercooler, fuel pressure regulator, crankcase breathers, and power steering reservoir. He also fabbed the lines to all those parts. That's a ton of work. On top of that, Dylan had to cut up the crazy expensive intake manifold and re-weld it. You can buy entire running cars for less than this single Hypertune manifold. A drive-by-wire throttle body was added so they can run anti-lag and shoot huge flames out of the exhaust. The engine itself was fitted with a Brian Crowder 3.4-liter stroker kit and cams, JE pistons, a Garrett GTX 4088R turbo, and Turbo Smart 45mm wastegate. Dylan also made custom wastegate tubes aluminum charge pipes, and a 3.5-inch exhaust. He cut up the original V8 boom tube exhaust and adapted it to the straight six. So the 2JZ NASCAR sounds like nothing else in the entire freaking universe. It sounds pretty good. Weird. Well, that was something entirely different. The guy's got this 2JZ NASCAR running literally a few freaking days ago. Jesse was here. He sent me a video from his phone. Now, it just needs a proper tune to maximize the new JDM buff horses. Then Dylan, Chris, and Ryan are gonna do a huge, big old Bernie and take it straight back to the drag strip for redemption. Turk will probably be driving last. The guys have plans to hit an oval track and a road course at some point soon and eventually get this bad boy super sideways and blow some drift fans' minds. Personally, I'm hoping for the ultimate in sick engine swap matchups. The 2JZ NASCAR versus the GT4586. Tandem, Irwindale. The guys covered this build from start to finish in way more detail on their Blackout series. If you want to check it out and follow along for all the 2JZ NASCAR updates and shenanigans, I'll put a link in the description below. I really want to give a big thanks to the guys, Dylan Hughes, Chris Forsberg, and Ryan Turk for making this crazy idea a reality, as well as a ton of other crazy ideas. They're really fun guys and very cool. You should welcome them into your life through the mystery of social media. I love you.
Hey guys, huge announcement. We're launching a podcast. Finally, it's called Past Gas. It's about the cars you love, the people behind them, and we'll be telling the best stories in automotive history. And because it's longer, we get to go deeper into the juicy details, the fun stuff that we sometimes have to skip in our shorter shows. So you can watch it here on our YouTube or Facebook page every Sunday, and then you can listen to the next episode Monday wherever you get your podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever fine podcasts are delivered. Go check it out, Past Gas. It's about cars, it's not about farts. It's a podcast. In Enzo's first race with Alpha, he finished second, a result so devastating to Enzo that he apparently sat in his car after the race and cried, vowing to never race again.
Didn't even get the first place.
A vow he would immediately forget.
Just kidding.